I've got 7:01.
Hmm.
Call the July 26, 2023 Inland Wetlands Commission meeting to order. New business.
New business, the cease and desist is an ongoing issue. If everyone read their agenda review, as an update, I did go out there on, give me a second here. All right, you know what? Let's go back here. I did get an updated survey from the surveyor. Okay. And you can see where the wetlands pretty much follow the toe slope through that whole thing that has been marked out, flagged out. I guess he flagged it like a day or two before the meeting last 2 weeks ago that I wasn't aware about. So we met them and he mentioned that he already did it. They just didn't have a chance to get us a map. So the wetlands have been flagged. All right. We met on the.
But Bruce, go back to that map for a minute.
Yep.
Because it looks like there's two property owners.
Yes. Yes. This is here's that line here, here's the one that he bought, he purchased this, and this is the one that he's trying to buy now. So as we said last week, a large part of it is on property that is not his. So he mentioned he is in the process of working with the attorney. It's unfortunately it's gone through, the person has passed away and their heirs had passed away, so it's a very long list. So he's got pretty much working through the courts right now to get this resolved, but apparently it's pretty easy, is what he
They're
said.
not buried on his site, are they?
All right, so but
it rained.
so I went out there on the 17th. All right, this was right after that 3-inch storm that we had on that Sunday. So I met up with Ian Cole. He's the wetland scientist. The surveyor was out there as well as the owner. So here's some pictures that we had taken. Here's that large storm drain outlet that comes from Plainville. It drains a big section of Plainville that comes around and going back to here. That's right here. Comes down, curves around, goes out, and then goes out to the Pequabic in that direction there. So as you can see,
State owned?
what's that?
Is that the state owned drainage?
No, the state's on the other side, on the
Okay.
north side. So, but here we are looking to the north along the side of 504. This was the areas that he had put some fabric or some geotextile down to try to stabilize it. Wrong way. Sorry, wrong way. So you can see where the river had backed up into this little tributary swamp, and it had put this silt fence underwater in certain locations. So, pretty much right up to the toe slope is how far it came. And here's some of the flagging he did. So I think when you look out here, you'll see he more or less staked along the silt fences where it was. So here's the outlet that along the south side of his property that he wants to extend. So I did discuss with him our concerns where if this is the water, if this is a 3-inch storm and the water is backing up as it is, extending it further could only exacerbate the problem. So they're aware of that. As it is right now, that outlet is underwater. And this is the wall along his parking lot that's starting to fail. And the water comes out this way. So he is claiming that this is undermining his retaining wall here, and it is starting to collapse. So it is nothing. It's just a bunch of blocks, concrete blocks, and mismatches. So this is off the back side of his property, beyond the parking area. So this is out looking at the tributary towards the Pequabic. So it's pretty much right up, pretty much follows his toe of his slope all the way around and then along the back. So at that meeting, we did discuss with everybody what we wanted to see. As part of it, we talked about pulling this slope back to a minimum 3-to-1 to soften it, so it would stabilize better. Ian Cole, the wetland scientist, said that he wanted to see this stuff removed. He just was concerned with any kind of amphibians coming in and out. He just did not want them getting caught on this on the mesh.
That looks like it's got the fiberglass or the plastic.
I didn't see. I don't know what that was, but yeah, he did not like it. He wanted it out of there if possible. So I said if we actually pull it back to 3-to-1, then it should work. So, and we also talked about what you have here. Right here is a lot of these roof leaders are still there. So during the heavy rain, it's a flat roof. This water's coming down also along the side of the building, coming out and washing right down through here, causing that erosion over here. So right about where the machine is, I asked them to dig a hole, like a temporary sedimentation basin, just to accept that water to try to reduce the velocity so it does not erode it out. So that was on the 17th.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Are all those roof feeders, they feed into one line?
Those just daylight. You'll see it in the next picture
Okay.
here. We had gone back out on the. I can't even see the date on there. It's the 24th. We had gone back out because that was the 6th. That was the 17th, and this was the 24th. We had gone back out there. So this is a week or so after the storm. As you can see, nothing's changed up here. There's those roof leaders there, Ned. I think I have a bit better picture.
Yep.
No, I don't. But I think I have them in the older pictures, but you can see that they all just do outlet right
They're
through
just
here.
ground feed, yeah.
Yep, and they feed out through here. So as I said, I mentioned to him about getting some sedimentation basin in. So he dug this large hole in here,
Mhm.
and we'll see how that works out for the time being. So the water has subsided at this point. Also we talked about digging that pond. We also talked about resetting this silt fence that was damaged and adding hay bales, straw wattle, something along this erosion control to actually reinforce it, and then to grade the slope back 3-to-1. So at this point, a week later, the work was not done. You can see the slope right here. That's where the roof leaders were coming down, washing out. So there is a bunch of debris that he had pulled out of here and from the property, he said. But you can see how the water has very much receded back.
Yeah, but even looking at this picture, if you look at the silt fence
Mhm.
and you look to the right of the silt fence, where that area looks to be considerably lower than the area to the left, which is where a lot of the sediment appears to have accumulated.
Mhm.
Or is that just an optical illusion? But it looks like
I think it's the type of material too. I think it's a little bit of both, and it's a little bit of both. It's the fines that are coming off the top and just washing down. Again,
Yeah.
This was after that 3-inch storm, so we had quite a big deluge here. So I had since talked with the owner, and he is out of the country. He had a death in the family, so he could not make the meeting. So I mentioned that we were having the meeting anyways. I expressed how important it was to resolve this issue, because I said I want to get the erosion control in. We talked about at the last meeting possibly doing some test pits out there along that silt fence, just to confirm the wetland location. Ian had mentioned that he had gone back there, dug down as far as he could with his core, and he was pretty confident that was the wetland. But I said, you know what, the machine is there. I said, I'd like to just double check do a few test pits, and let's just confirm that it is, as you say, along that toe of that slope. So we talked about that. We talked about grading that back to 3-1. Getting the erosion control in, backed up with hay bales, and getting this restored. So I asked, in the meantime, let's get it graded out, just kind of smooth it out a little bit. Let's get some seed on it. And let's see what takes. I mean, we have been getting, as you know, quite a bit of rain, so there's a good chance that we may get something, to come up there. So I said, at least it'll help you. And then after that, when we get into September, October, I said, that's when I'd like to get the plantings installed, or whatever we agree on for a final restoration plan. So Ian is still working with the owner. He has not they have not agreed on a contract at this point, so they have to get that going. But I was pretty clear with them that by the first meeting in September, we should have something for the commission to look at. Because assuming that we need the 2 meetings to look, to go back and forth, he's ready to go in first week in October. So if anyone has any questions, just let me know.
I'm not sure where to start.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start with Rich. What's your feeling on this?
Well, I think, Bruce has got all the key areas covered. I mean, getting it at least temporarily seeded, so we're not getting any worse than it is, and doing something so that the roof leaders don't destroy the place. Yeah, that's, as long as it doesn't get any worse than what it is, I think we'll be doing good.
Okay, Dave, your feelings?
For the record, I did watch the meeting that I missed last time to hear the start of this terrible saga. I was wondering, it seemed that the map you showed that the wetlands were kind of coincided with the extent of clearing.
Yes.
Everything that was cleared was not wetlands, and what was left was wetlands.
Yes.
You were talking about making test pits. Are we going to do that? I would hope to make sure that some of that cleared land wasn't also wetlands.
Up in here, yes, that's what I was talking about, because we did, when we were.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be on the uphill side of these silt fence, just to confirm that this line did not move up at all.
Okay. That's all I have right now. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Neil?
I don't have too much, just the question on what that picture you just showed, Bruce, with the the fabric material, whatever that consists of.
It's right here.
What happens when that comes up? Does he have to put the silt fence and hay bales in first, or what? Just
No, there's a silt fence. The silt fence is down there. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit.
but
Silt fence,
but it's
silt fence is
underwater
there.
in places, right? Or
huh?
is it still underwater in places?
No, this is after the storm. This is after the 3-inch storm. The water has since receded. These I went out there on Monday of this week.
Okay.
So what he'll do is he'll pull this fabric off, more or less grab it, pull that back to a 3-to-1 slope, and then just put some hay bales, sock along here, and then just stabilize the slope with some seed. So
Okay.
Bruce, this is Rich. Is that a pipe in that photo, or is?
I think it's a rotted up piece of an old drum. Let's see.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. See, it's like an old drum. See. So he said, like he said, there was a lot of debris on the property. You could see there was a lot of debris on the other side of the fence down in here. I think partly maybe some of that is from the storms, all those years of when the water, as the water level rises and falls, it's bringing all this debris along the river as well. So I think
Kind of a backwater.
Yeah, it's kind of a combination of both.
Yes. I didn't have anything further. Thanks.
Thanks. Mark?
Yeah, the only, Bruce, I have a question is on the pictures, there was two pictures that showed you outlined in red. Were they what you suspect as the wetlands area? What was that all about?
Oh, that was before, that was the earlier map I had, but I think what it was, just showing what we were doing is we were using that map out in the field to mark it out. So I think that was just showing the red location of the wetlands, and then we had some notes written on there. Unfortunately, that was the only clean copy I had, but I wanted to get something over to you guys so you had it. I just got this cleaned up map yesterday. So
Okay. I have nothing further. I mean, we're gonna obviously get involved in this more, but obviously, as you said, test pits, determining the extent, if and how much damage was done. I think at this point it's preliminary to even talk about what we're gonna do until we know better what happened. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Mark. Ned?
Yeah, can you just review again what property is his and what is he trying to do? Or what is he trying to buy?
he owns this. He owns 504 now.
Yep.
You can see the property line is very close to the southern side of the property. He purchased this property, and this was part of a larger piece. Here's the Firestone
Yes.
property.
Yes.
It had a larger piece that extends out and goes into Northwest Drive. So the owner had cut it at the town line and sold him this piece here. So he owns this, and he's in the process of purchasing this. Apparently, he has spoken with one of the descendants, and they don't even want anything for it. They said, just we'll give it to you. I didn't even know we owned it. It's all of it, it's a lot of it's wetlands. There's nothing you're going to build there. But apparently, as part of the probate, some kind of fee has to be done as part of an assessment or whatever. So that's what they're working on now.
Okay, then like where the river is, I mean, that's all wetlands. I mean, so now to the other side, if
Mhm.
you look,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, how about this? But
does he have to work with whatever is on his other side?
What do you mean?
Like if you look at the GIS map,
Mhm.
it's 8384. It looks like it goes on for a long distance, but does
Yes.
it end?
No, what happened is this, and that's what, what, let me go back. Let me just show you. Let's go back to ours. As I said at the last meeting, there's an error in our mapping. We show this as being all one property. This is connected to the D. Tomaso, the Farmington FSA, is all part of his property. All right, but there's an error. The property line is actually there's actually a division line right along
Okay.
this
All right.
section where it breaks out this. So as I said,
Oh.
this is how I'll have to go to the Avon GIS, but this is, I guess, this is the Pequabic here. And
Yep.
this is the a tributary off of it. So,
Okay.
so when I go back to the maps, here's that line that we were just talking about that is not depicted on our plan, on our assessor maps. So there
Okay.
is a separate lot here.
Okay. And then, one of the things you sent us was that Firestone property site plan.
Mhm.
Now there at the north end of that, it shows, there's another pipe it looks like it's feeding in. So
Yeah.
are we gonna have to take that into account? Because that looks like it's gonna end up going right into the stream that goes in his property.
That's right here. That pipe
Yep.
comes down. As you saw, it hooks around and it flows around the corner here. I think during some of the higher storms, it pushes out here. So it kind of sprays out a little bit, but it all ends up. And one of those pictures I had showed you, this is the pipe he's looking to extend.
Yep.
This is where you can see all that water rushing in and actually coming through with a pretty good high velocity, because you've got water coming here and you've got water coming this way. So
Okay. All right.
I think during low flow, it kind of just stays and goes out this way because you can see how this has dried up pretty much during the high flows, and as the river backs up, the tailwater effects kind of fills this whole area up and kind of pushes it out.
All right. So, we got the location of the wetlands and the 150-foot line.
Yep.
So everything basically is in, except for that little tiny corner, is in the 150 foot.
Exactly.
Now, I'm just pretty familiar with the property because I think I said before the Democratic Town Committee rented from the previous owner who sold it to this guy within last year. And I mean, we used to have to blow the leaves off the parking lot, you know, because I mean, there was a lot of trees in there, and we'd kind of blow so people weren't parking on wet leaves where it was slippery.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think we're gonna have to think about, you know, I heard him say he's thinking about more parking.
Yep.
But I don't, you know, I don't know if I feel so warm on that. The place does need more parking. I don't know. We'd have to come up with some compromise because, you know, the way this was handled was very poorly, and we got to include some trees being put back there.
Mhm.
We might be able to, you know, give them a little bit, but I think most of it has to be restoration.
Yep, and I think they have to take that in mind, but I think the immediate concern, as I discussed with them, is the immediate concern is to stabilize the property. So
Right.
maybe we could come up with some kind of a maintenance plan, some kind of a plan in this area, let's say, and just cast and then just seed the rest to stabilize it. That way
Yeah.
we've got some kind of a planting plan, and then when they come back, if they want to come in with a parking lot, then we could deal with it at that point on where this parking is going to be, how far off the river. I mean, we have to think about drainage out here. You know, can we tie into the existing catch basin? Do we want to see water quality in here with a basin? So there's a lot of questions and concerns.
Where does the existing parking lot feed into? Is it feed into that one line there?
What do you mean? Oh, for drainage?
Yeah, for drainage. So
Oh,
whatever the
drainage
catch.
is not, it's drainage is everything is sheet flow out here, with
Okay.
the exception of oh, it doesn't even show here. Shoot, I thought it was on here. But most of this is sheet flow right off the parking lot. There is a loading dock right here, and there is a catch basin in there, and I think that goes under the building out to the Pequabic.
Okay.
So that is the only drainage that's on site. And it's not even a full catch basin. It's like a little yard drain or something. There's really not even a full structure to really do anything with.
Okay.
But he is in the process, if it means anything, he is in the process of doing a renovation. He's working with the electric company. They're actually redoing the whole electrical system right now. They've got a humongous panel. They're looking to run a line from one of the poles and then to underground to feed this whole new electrical panel. As you saw, he had this whole side ripped up. He's working to drain it, and he's working on the roof leaders. So he's got a lot of plans for it, apparently, that he wants to fix it up. But unfortunately, he decided to do this first, or while he was doing the other thing. So without coming
On land he doesn't even own. That's the thing that kills me. Although that seems to be a growing trend in
I
Farmington.
think he was pretty confident that he was getting the property from them, and then when it got buried got put into the probate system, that kind of just like put the brakes on it.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
I mean, my general feeling is we're already several weeks past when seed and hay should have been put down to start trying to stabilize the site.
Yeah, we started on June 28th. Was when we first saw this. So we're going on a month.
I don't have an issue with the 3-to-1 slope. I know it makes it easier to stabilize. And having the erosion control measures at the toe of the slope is good, but again, the way seeing the water run off of this site, I think there need to be erosion control measures at the top of the slope as well.
Okay.
Where it looks like he's taken a bulldozer and cleared off that whole strip of land right by the building. To me, he needs to be putting in some kind of check dams over there, whether it's hay bale check dams, stone check dams.
Yes.
I don't particularly care.
We had talked a little bit about that as well. You're talking about this right here. Like right in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to put in some kind of, whether, I don't care if it's hay bale check dam, stone check dam. I mean, that's not an area that's really supposed to be used for vehicles at this point in time.
No, it's not. He had pulled
Going
apart, he
there.
had pulled away from it. The only concern we had with that was these doors. This, as I said, as Ned said, this building is really funky and weird. And there's all kinds of step ups, step downs. And the only thing I was really concerned about, I told him, is those check dams can't be very tall because it could actually build up and run right into the building. So we did have some
No, I
concerns with that.
understand that, but I mean, you've got to slow the water down somehow.
Yes.
It can't just continue free flowing like it is. And again, it goes back to the old issue that we deal with is, it would have been so much easier for somebody to come in and just talk to us
Mhm.
to let us know what we wanted. And it may have ended up saving them a lot of grief and aggravation in the long run. But again, he's gone ahead with this. I think he's alienated members on the commission. And if he's trying to do anything with this site, my guess is going to be a long memory. And I don't think people are willing to really cut him any slack on that. So he's going to have to really make sure that anything he comes back with is just going to be top notch and probably have to go above and beyond what somebody else might, just because of what he's done here.
Mhm.
But again, yeah, I thought I had made it relatively clear from my position that the site needed to be stabilized. And to me, that was the, grass, put hay, or grass seed hay. I mean, if you wanted to come in and hydro seed it, I didn't particularly care, but nothing's done. I mean, other than some weeds are now starting to pop up.
Mhm.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So the netting that he put down, to try to stabilize the slope, without stabilizing the slope first. I mean, this is why it looks pretty funky out there with the way that the mats are out there. So yeah, I mean, to me, he's really at least 2 weeks past where he should be on this site, if not longer. I mean, I thought we kind of mentioned that the first time we saw him, so
Mhm.
I'm just not overly thrilled. And again, he doesn't. Now, he does or does not have a contract for the wetlands party.
He
Well,
does not.
Who does he have a contract with for doing any work out here?
I think all he has right now is a surveyor, the surveyor / engineering office. So I think what happened was the engineering office had called Ian, who they work with, and he had gone out and took care of it. So that was the immediate concern at that point. So I think the next thing is for them to actually sit down, come up with a contract for, number one, we don't even have the wetlands report. All we have is the wetland delineation at this point. So I think we want some kind of wetlands report and a wetlands and function value that,
Yeah.
not knowing what that is right along the toe of that slope. Is it just a drainage area? Is it a valuable wetland? What's in there? So maybe Ian can attest to that. And that's going to tell us how far off of there we're going to need to be offset,
Yeah, because again, if in looking at the way the property is currently laid out, and you were showing it was the state drainage, right? That was actually backed up to the top of the pipe.
Yes.
Do we really want the toe of the slope right there?
Herein lies the problem, and that's kind of where I was going with Ian. Ian had said he did a lot of research on this before he went out. And he said pretty much where the wetlands are, the way this is, from all the historical photos, all the historical information he had, this is pretty much where the toe slope was. So pulling it back, I mean, yeah, we can do that. But I think, that was what he was pretty adamant. This is where the existing limit of disturbance was.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we have to have the slope go right down to the wetlands either.
Nope. It is something that definitely, that once he starts getting his report and we get these guys at these meetings, we could then start discussing these questions with them.
Well, I guess the concern that I have with, maybe it's the language that you're using, because I'm not sure that discussing anything is going to get much done here.
Mhm.
It may be more a matter of telling him what to do, because we've been discussing it for about a month, and it's like nothing's been done. So for one, I'm just not thrilled with what hasn't occurred here.
Me as well,
I'm
like I
not
said.
thrilled with what did happen there. So it's, I thought the commission was pretty clear to him that he needed to start stabilizing the site.
Mhm.
And that's more than just 3 erosion control blankets on part of
Keep
the slope that wasn't even manicured at all to be able to let the matting stay down.
Keep in
So,
mind, like I said, he definitely could have been working on the site up in here. But we did have that storm. So we met on the Wednesday. I gotta see, hold on. We met on the 12th, right? So based on that, I had a meeting with him on the 17th. The storm was on the 20. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we met on the 12th. The storm was on the 16th. So there was water in this time and frame where you couldn't technically be working down here because you'd be technically in the water. So between here and here, the water has since receded. So he could have been doing some work in this time frame here.
yeah, I mean, to me, he could have been doing the work in some of the upland
Oh, yes.
area.
Yeah.
And to help stabilize it, so that if we did continue to get more rain,
Mhm.
at least you started slowing down the erosion process. You started slowing down sediment getting into the water body, but
Well, we've been discussing finding him as one of our options of maybe starting the finding process now. Because at this point, if he's going to push back and, well, I can't get this done, I can't do it, it's like, it's done, you know what I mean? The only way we can get him to understand how important this is to actually start finding him.
yeah, and again, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for anybody else on the finding. I mean, if he had at least started doing something, yeah, I might not be as concerned about starting a date of finding now. However, with nothing having been done for a month,
Mhm.
and we're now getting to the point where, when's our first meeting in September? Like the 3rd or something?
Yes, 6th.
Okay, so we're now 5 weeks away
Mhm.
from seeing anything on this site again. And I guess the question I have is, what if he continues to play the same game and nothing gets done?
No, I agree.
So, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot of heartburn about talking about the fines now.
Mhm.
Just, I don't know, maybe I'm just gonna be a crotchety old man, but that's kind of where I'm coming from on this.
I'll join you in being a crotchety old man. I don't think he's, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to get his attention right now. I don't think, I feel bad he's had a death in the family, but, I mean, I'm sure he has people that work for him that could have been working on this, and, he hasn't really done anything.
I mean, I'm sorry, but what's it take, to put a couple bags of seed down and spread some hay? I mean,
Agreed.
it doesn't take a month to do it.
Mhm.
And perhaps put another row of silt fence at the top of the slope. So
I think that's gonna need to be done, so that way, when they do work on the slope itself, you're gonna give it a better chance of stabilizing and not having it wash out as well. But I think that's something they're gonna have to look at, because again, right now, everything is just flowing down towards the water, and we need to try to prevent that from continuing. So,
Yeah, I'll join the old man get off my lawn club. I actually remember him, I may be a charter member. But I actually remember him saying that night that the pictures Bruce had showed didn't show some of the control that he had already put in place, which I presume is this netting. Okay. And we made it very clear that night that we were, 4 or 5 days away from a large storm.
Mhm.
And that we needed him to do something to stabilize. I'm not sure he did a damn thing, honestly.
no, he didn't.
I think
No.
this netting was already there.
Yes.
One other concern I have, and it's in a different direction. He's put together this that property map with the wetland delineation. I mean, that's the delineation after the site was disturbed. I would hate to see that become memorialized as that was the original wetland limit before the test pits are done and there's some field work to actually determine what the wetlands were. You put something on paper like this, and all of a sudden that becomes the de facto wetland line, and I for one, I'm not buying it.
All right. I did mention to them that the commission was adamant and that they did want to see some test pits, So, but Ian had told me, and that he goes, look, I've done my research. I said, hey, Ian, that's fine. I understand. I said, I think that the commission will just wants a few test pits just so everyone is happy and understanding, and we understand where we're actually starting here. So.
And if the test pits verify what he's saying, fine. And if they
Yep.
counter what he's saying, you're gonna have to come back and change the maps.
I think the surveyor, and I think all well, I think the surveyor wanted to get something done because the mapping that we had was from the 50s. There was nothing very good on there. There was no real good survey. So I think he wanted to get something on paper so everyone can see what we're looking at and what's what out there. So.
So Bruce,
this-
does that
this-
give you kind of what you need, or do you need anything?
That's fine.
from-
Nope, that's fine. I think we're all on the same page. We're sitting in our lounge chairs along the curb yelling at the kids, so get off my lawn. So we're all there. So, all right.
Just don't
I
show the
will, what I'm
slingshot.
gonna do is I will follow up with both of them.
All right,
I have not got a date from him on when he's coming back. I'm not sure if he doesn't have email or he doesn't get email from where he is out in the country or out of the country. So what I will be doing is emailing everyone again, the surveyor, wetland scientist. I'm going to let them know that they need to resolve their contract ASAP. Contract will entail test pits, examination of whether there's additional wetlands on the site. It's going to be it's going to require a delineation report, a wetlands report, and then a restoration plan, and then an implementation or implementing the plan. Does that sound like, I think that's where everyone is going?
yeah, and hopefully something gets done before the meeting in September.
Oh,
And
if
you
nothing
might-
gets done,
So,
if nothing gets done, I would not want to be him at the next meeting. So,
so
go ahead.
have we set, so do we set a date with the start of the fine or?
No, that's technically the fines fall under our office. The commission
Okay.
is kept aware, the commission can make suggestions. But
Okay.
unfortunately, they don't require fines or mandate or whatever. So, as I said, I've been working with Shannon on this, and we will be moving towards finding him to kick this into gear and get this done. So he's got to
Okay.
know how important this is.
Okay, I agree. Thank you.
The other thing is I know he's got that concern with this wall and the drain, and he wants to extend the drainage. He might as well wrap that right into everything else. So we look at this once and we have a comprehensive plan on what he wants to do with this.
Agreed. And Rich, I had mentioned that to him. And unfortunately, when I told him when we were out there during that flooding situation, that I don't know how much of that's even feasible. You know, that pipe was probably, I couldn't even see it, but I want to say it was what size pipe is that? I forgot what size it was.
15-inch?
No, I think that says a 15-foot
Oh,
drainage,
15
a
drainage.
15-foot drainage easement. But I want to say it's probably like a 18 or 24. So I told us, look, I couldn't even see the pipe. So you're probably talking that thing is anywhere from 2 feet plus below the water line. So extending that out, I mean, you're just going to make it worse. You know what I mean? That pipe will be underwater, and that was just a 3-inch storm. You know what's going to happen during any of the larger storms that we have. So I think there are going to be some questions, and on top of that, it's going to be, what are we getting into in terms of any Army Corps permits with how much more disturbance are we going to have within a designated wetland area? So
You might need a pipe junction box to keep the water from the river from backing up too far into the pipe.
it's a state pipe, and you guys
Yeah.
do know more than me, but I don't think they would want to
Yeah.
have any kind of system. I mean, I told them what I would do is this. I asked them to go out there, look at this flow line here, okay?
Yeah.
Get the flow line here, see what the slope is on this pipe. If this is a 0.5%, there's not much you can do. If this is for some reason a 2, 3, 4% pipe, then I said, look, you can go back, add a structure somewhere, or either one, relay the whole pipe, or two, add a structure here and then adjust the slope so that you can start softening out this slope.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
pick up that pipe. So that was my recommendation to them.
Or redo the alignment so that it doesn't discharge so close to his building,
Yep.
Put an angle point into it. But whatever he's got to do there is, DOT's got to get a sign off from DOT because
Exactly.
it's their
Yep.
drainage.
Yep. And they have, and they had mentioned that, I guess they'll review it and approve it when they're done, but that they're not going to pay for anything. His immediate concern was trying to save his parking lot, because as you saw, that this wall over here was getting ready to fail. So that's what he's concerned about. He doesn't want to lose the parking lot because he'll lose the material around the building, and then and that could just domino. So
I'm not really, well, it is kind of our bag, but if he puts a lot of work into this, is there a level of improvement that because if this were like new construction, wouldn't the town require a driveway all the way around for, like, if there's if there's a fire that's blocking access on one side, then emergency vehicles can go around to the other side?
we could get it. I mean, we do, like I said, it's going to be the limits of what he has there for
Yeah.
property, wetlands. But yeah, that is definitely something we consider, especially on brand new buildings. On a
Right.
retrofit, we are held to some kind of
Right.
limitations of the property.
Yeah, it's a weird property. There's like a low section where there's an L in the building, and then it's kind of narrow at the north end to get to get through there. That opening in the parking lot, you can't get a car, and 2 cars going in each direction.
Yeah.
If there's
I've
people
gone
in the
back-
parking spot, if there's people in the parking spots, it's only wide enough for 1 car.
Yeah.
The building, it looks like it must have been, expanded a dozen times or so. It's
Yeah, and then it's been
so
inside.
hodgepodge everywhere.
inside has been cut up without, it's been
Yeah.
over the years. There was a fire that was fixed. There's, I guess when Eversource went out, there's a utility pole here, right through the roof. It goes right through the building and right up the roof. We're like, oh, we can't have
Wow.
that. So they have to fix that. And that's what he's doing with this underground power and this whole new system, this whole new bank of meters on this side of the
Yeah.
building. So
Yeah. Okay,
all right.
thank you.
All right, thanks, everybody. That takes care of new business planners report. You're up, Bruce.
All right. Updating everybody. Let's see. Oh, my agenda. Yep, 222 Telconach. You guys had approved this some time ago. What is it? The 2021? Yep, 2021. So this is what was approved by the commission at that point. I think everybody was here, right, when this was approved?
Yeah,
So
I don't think I was.
what was that?
I don't know that I was.
Oh, okay. Quick little summary. Let's John drive over there. Mountain, here we go. Copper Beach is right here. Aqueduct is right here. All right, here's the property right here. There's a private road right across the street, the Northington Way. It's broken up into 3 drainage areas. There's this drainage on the north, which flows out to here. This has since been removed, and the town piped it all the way down and around. All right, we have this drainage here, which is the center portion of the property. This drains out, runs along an old swale between these properties, out to Waterville, underneath Waterville, out to the avenue. The third drainage area is down in the lower section. That includes a pond, an old historic pond. I haven't been up there. I guess you guys were up there. It's a pretty well historic architectural house. It's pretty amazing from what I'm told. This pond is just as amazing. It's the way it was built. So
It
the water.
needed some work, though.
What's that?
It needed some work,
What, the pond or the house?
the pond.
Yes, he
There's a
mentioned
dam.
that.
There was a dam that was in
Yeah.
need of some.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Exactly, and he's had a couple of washouts, and I'll go over that because I mentioned that to him. But this takes a lot of the drainage area off the mountain, comes through the pond, meanders through here, goes underneath Telconach, and again flows out underneath Waterville Road, out to the Farmington River. So there's 3 drainage areas set in there. Go back to the proof to what you guys had approved. It's broken up with the road in the middle. We have a detention basin on the north, and then a detention basin on the south. At that point, we did not get much into the drainage design in terms of the areas and the flows, and we were just looking at how he's handling the water quality, and that the ponds were adequately sized. At this point, you could see this pond took water, piped it across into this system, which runs into this swale that runs behind the homes on Copper Beach and Northington Way. So of the 3 drainage areas, this is probably the most sensitive in terms of flooding issues and items like that. So what happened is the drainage plan showed an increase in peak runoff from here, and eventually a volume as well, and a reduction to the north and the south. Overall, the site was a reduction, but looking at it further, I said, look, I don't want you adding more water to this swale. I wanted you to break it out and divvy out the water to these other more capable and stable channels. So as you see, that one went out to there, into that swale, and then this one went through this basin, storm detention basin, out to the north. So that was what you guys had approved. Since that time, we came back. As I said, there's been some modifications. One of them had to do with revising the road a little bit. we wanted him to tee it up with that private road, Northerton Way, make it a little safer, because we have Copper Beach right up there. There's a couple intersections. So as part of that, and then what we wanted him to do was break up those drainage areas. As I said, he was sending too much water down this pipe. So what we had him do is they came up with a design where we have technically 2 outlet structures in this pond, and they're based on with orifices of different elevations. So it's a metering system. All right. So what's happening is the water from the whole development, and we also added some water quality treatments through here. We've had some rain gardens. There's an infiltration system over here. So everything from the houses will go into infiltration systems, all the roofs. The roads will come into these infiltrators here. There's no curbs. Everything will run off into these curbs or into these basins, into these rain gardens. Or I apologize. The everything comes in here into the rain gardens, flows back into the drainage systems. So we have water quality throughout here, picking up the yards, piping it back, overflows back into the ponds, and they drain into this pond. From here, we have 2 outlet structures. We have one here, and we are metering the flow, some to go north and some to go south. The idea is to match the flow that was coming to this pond or to this swale before, and take some and put it back into this swale, which can bring it back to the existing as well. So just wanted to let everyone know where we stand at this point. Okay, so this is going to zoning next week. They have to close the hearing, and then the commission will vote on it. I'm not sure if they're going to vote Monday night or if they'll vote in the first weekend of September or not. Mentioned, we talked to him about the pond. As you said, since that time in 21, there's been some more damage to the pond, so we definitely want to do some repairs out there. I cautiously advised him to make sure he comes to the commission first. I said, I don't think the commission wants to see another violation, so he understands. So he'll be back in when he gets ready and come in with a plan to actually do the pond. As part of that, just so you know, we had made some revisions to this easement as well. We encompassed the whole pond in the conservation easement. So by that, we'll have a little exclusion in the easement document for him to own, or for him to maintain that pond as is. So that was just more of an update. Wanted everyone to know where we were changing things, how things were moving. I think it was a minor change. I don't think it really needs to come back to you guys for a site plan review, but you guys can definitely let me know. I mean, everything is still the same. We still have detention basins on the north and the south side of the road. We've added these water quality rain gardens, infiltration systems. So there's been a lot of improvement since the last wetlands meeting.
I mean, Rich, what's your take? Do we need to
No,
do anything or just give our
No,
blessing?
Yeah, I don't have any heartache in the changes I'm seeing. I'm seeing it as actually a benefit with the water quality, the rain gardens and keeping the drainage flowing the right way. So I'm fine with it.
Okay, thanks.
And just so I apologize for interrupting, but I just so everyone knows, those water quality features was part of our engineering comments. That was part of the approval that you guys did. So that's why these had come in. It's not like they decided or we decided at the last minute, but this was part of our original review. Sorry about that.
No problem. Dave?
Yeah, it looks good to me. I don't have any issues.
Okay, thanks, Neil.
Yeah, nothing from me.
All right, thanks. Mark?
Looks like a great plan to me.
Thank you. Ned?
Yeah, I don't have any problems with it. I'm curious, is there that Northington Way that you wanted to line up with? Is there much, does that service much?
No, it actually, if you would drive by, you would think, why is it a private road? But this was part of the subdivision. This maintained an existing driveway here, and there's
Okay.
actually 3 lots total.
Oh, so
This lot, the person that owned this one previously had owned this one, and this one. The new owner had bought the whole thing as well. So I don't really see any any improvements in the near future at this point. Both of these homes will tie into this section of the road as well.
Yeah.
So, but just again, especially in that area, it's a little bit, it's a better, geometrically, it's in a better spot. The sight lines have improved. So just wanting to make sure that we tee these things up wherever possible.
Yeah. Waterville Road is Route 10, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Looks good.
Okay.
Yeah, Bruce, I've got sort of one question, depending upon the state of disrepair on the dam. Would it be more feasible to remove the dam?
And get rid of the pond, you mean?
Yeah,
I don't know if he's willing to do that at this point.
Okay.
The owner had mentioned, like I said, I don't know the whole history of the home, but the home does have some architectural significance.
yeah,
And the pond and the pool, I guess, is just as eloquent. And it's like I said, it's some I don't know what it was, I don't know who the architect was, but it's got a lot of historical elements to it, and it is a very gorgeous pool. So, and the pond is what they had sold is just as nice as everything else on the property.
no,
So I think
I
it
don't
does.
disagree with that, but the cost of repairing it, as well as maintaining the liability for having the pond, I'm just wondering if it's something that they've even thought about. But I mean, that's, I don't really care. I'm just raising that as an issue because I know the state's going in and looking at a lot of dams to try to get rid of. I mean, some of it's for fish passage, but some of it's also to try to restore some of the streams and brooks back into their more natural state. So,
Mhm.
and it's not cheap to repair these and maintain them. So
Mhm.
that's all.
Okay.
It's a general question. But as far as the plans go, I don't have any issue with them.
Okay. We all set with this one?
I believe so.
And the only other thing I had was a quick update on 9 Apple Tree. Nothing has happened. George was away that week of the month, or not month, but the July. He had a couple weeks, was it July? Yeah, he had first couple weeks he was gone. So they left the instructions for him. Owner had told me with all the rain, it was been too wet, too tough to get back there with any kind of equipment because he has to regrade that, bring in the topsoil and take care of it that way. He has mentioned to me earlier this week that he's out of the country at his son's graduation, but he will be back August 5th and has told me that pretty much when he comes back on August 5th, that's the first thing he's doing, getting the material out there and getting everything ordered. So. That's all I had. Anything else? Anyone have anything on this?
Nope.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
All right. I think that's all I had for you guys. Yes, that's all I had.
Okay, so next up on the agenda, well, actually, what's this addition?
What's what?
This addition that we're looking at?
Oh, that was all part of the approval. You guys had this was, he had that going when he did all this. This is part of the approval for the addition. He had a little
Okay,
bump
but that's
out.
got nothing to do with the garage that he originally wanted, right?
No.
Okay,
He had mentioned to me that he wants to come back to you guys in the future. I think he wants to abandon the plan for the larger garage and maybe look at doing another bay right here on this side. So I told him, I said, come back once the restoration is installed and completed. So.
and a new commission.
Did
Okay.
they ever resolve the property? They transfer?
No, I have a map, but nothing's been filed at this point that I'm aware of.
Okay.
So, but I've been told there is an agreement. I spoke with the butter. She's all in agreement. I just don't know if they filed the maps.
Okay. All right, so that takes us to minutes. So can I get a motion to approve the minutes of July 12th, 2023 Inland Wetland Commission
So
meeting?
moved, Mark.
So moved, Ned.
There a second? Or did I miss the first and Ned seconded?
No, I think,
Second at first, I just.
I'll do whatever.
I think that was Mark, right? Mark had made
Mark-
the motion,
Yeah, I
and
think
Ned
Mark
had
made
a-
the,
Ned
yeah.
had seconded.
Okay,
I
I
did-
thought I heard Mark's voice, but
Yeah,
just
I wasn't sure if I heard anything, so I just made them,
Okay,
but I'll turn mine to a second.
okay. So I have a motion on the floor to approve the July 12th, 2023 Inland Wetland Commission meeting minutes. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining?
Dave abstains.
Okay, so we'll close wetlands at 8:01, start Conservation Commission. I don't think we have anything here other than the minutes, correct, Bruce?
Nope, nothing.
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the July 12th, 2023 Conservation Commission meeting?
So moved, Ned.
Is there a second?
Second, Rich.
I think you have a motion to approve the minutes of July 12th, 2023 Conservation Commission meeting on the floor. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, abstaining?
Dave abstains again.
All right, and we will close the meeting at 8:02.